welcome back to my channel. My name is Maggie. Today I'm going to be updating you on the first month of usage in my Pan palette. This year I'm focusing on the ABH Soft Glam 2 palette, so it's like the mini version of the Soft Glam. There's 8 eyeshadows in here. This has been one of my go-to favorite kind of travel palettes for a couple of years. I already have Pan in a couple of shades going into this year, so I'm excited to finish some of these up, see some more Pans, and just get as much use out of this as I can this year. So then I'm also doing a companion palette because this is kind of a small palette. So for January and February, I'm using the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette, which looks like this. It's got some nice pink and kind of green tones into it. So these are the two palettes that I've been using for the month, and I'm excited to give you an update of what's been going on with the progress I have, things of that nature. So we'll start with my Pan palette, the Soft Glam 2. I will put in a comparison clip so you can see, where it was and where I am now. So this is where I currently am at after January. So I don't have any new pans and I haven't finished anything, but I have definitely expanded the pans that I already had, which makes me, really happy and pleased. And I'm getting some good progress in some of the other shades. So I thought I'd talk through each of the shades, tell you how many times I've used them, how I'm using the shades, and we'll just kind of go from there. So we'll start with the top row. The first shade is Tempera. Now, I already had Pan on Tempera, but this has definitely grown since last time. So I've used Tempera 20 times. I'm using it to set down my primer, my eyeshadow primer. I like to use kind of a matte or satin cream shade, so this is how I'm using it. I really love it. It's very easy to use, and I think, it's getting down there. I definitely am starting to see more side pan. So I would love to see this done at the end of February. I don't know if it'll be quite all the way done or not, but I think this will be done before the first half of the year for sure. So the next up is Dreamer. Dreamer is a kind of golden champagne shimmer shade, and I've been using this on my lid. So I've used Dreamer 17 times. I've found that I really enjoy it when I kind of go for like a more brown, warm brown look as well as a purple look. I think it's just a really pretty lid shade, whichever crease color I want to go with. So I've really been enjoying that. Like I said, I used it 17 times. It's a little too deep for me to use in my inner corner. I found when I have used it that way, I just haven't really loved how it looks. So probably be sticking to using it on the lid, but I love it for all over the lid shade. And then the pan on this, is expanding, but it's not going as quickly as Tempera. So this one will be around a little bit longer. Next, we have Orange Soda, which is kind of this matte orangey shade. I mean, it's a good name, Orange Soda. So this is where we're currently at. I've used Orange Soda 10 times. And I really like using it as a transition shade. So I will go in with a fluffy brush, throw it into my crease as a transition shade, and then I typically follow it up with Incense down here, which we'll talk about. But this has been a really great just kind of go-to. I can definitely kind of have it lean. If I want to go like cooler, I can do that. And sometimes when I do cool looks, I just want to add a little bit of warmth. And I've used it, I think, twice that way where my look got a little carried away. So I wanted to bring a little warmth back. But yeah, Orange Soda will definitely be like a crease transition type shade for me. And then at the end, we have Dusty Rose, which is a matte kind of purpley mauve shade. I think that I can see a little bit more disruptance in the pan of where my brush is landing. So I've used Dusty Rose 13 times. When I do want to do a more kind of purpley pink look, this is the shade that I will use as my go-to kind of crease shade. So I do think that there's a little bit more disruptance, but I'm quite a ways away from pan on both of these. It'll take a while for me to kind of dig down there. So then moving into this bottom row, Incense, down here, I have used 7 times. So most of the time, like I said, I'm pairing it with Orange Soda. I go in with Orange Soda first and then Incense next. This is a great just like go-to brown crease shade for me. With my fair complexion right now in the wintertime, it is a little intense. So I like the orange soda to just kind of help me blend the like edge of my crease a little bit more. I'm not seeing as much of a disturbance in this pan as I am, say, in Dusty Rose, but I still really enjoy the shade. I think it's a good go-to. That's one of the reasons why I really love this as a travel palette, because I have some staples in here and I really don't have to think about like, oh, but I'm missing this. This palette really does have a lot of those staples that I use regularly in my routine. Next up is Sultry. So this is a shimmer, and Sultry has 12 uses since, we started this. So there definitely is more of a dip growing in here. I have been using Sultry on my lid in the outer third, and I've been using it both with the kind of warm golden look that I'm doing, as well as kind of the purpley looks I'm doing. I think it works well either way. I'll give you a swatch. It's a really kind of dynamic shade in that it can kind of lean brown, but it also kind of leans a little purple. So that's a swatch of it there. It does have a nice shimmer. You can also blend it out kind of with a fluffier brush, and the shimmer dissipates a little bit. So I've enjoyed using it on the outer third of my eyelid just to add a little bit of depth there. And yeah, this is one that I do think, I think shimmer shades just in general are easier to hit pan on. So I think we'll be able to hit pan in the next few months on Sultry down here. Next, we have Mulberry, which is this beautiful, deep matte, kind of like burgundy shade. So Mulberry I've used 5 times. The 5 times that I've used it have been very lightly in the outer like third of my eye, maybe a little bit into the crease. Again, I have a very fair complexion, so shades like this are very impactful on my skin. So I don't need much to like have my look, have a deepening effect. It happens quickly. So for this one, I really don't see much disturbance in, the shade itself. I definitely could see myself trying this as a eyeliner. I think especially in the fall when like cranberry and all that like is in season, I think that would be really, really pretty. I haven't used it that way yet, but I could see myself using it. This is one of those shades that like, I'd just be really thrilled if I could hit pan on it. I don't expect to finish this up at all, but I'm happy with the 5 uses. I think if I can keep, trying to use it a handful of times every month, I will start to see more progress. And then the last shade is Noir. I already have pan on that. Of course, it's the black matte shade. I've used it 3 times. I use it as eyeliner. That's why I have pan in kind of that shape. It's where my eyeliner brush goes in. So I've used it 3 times. My goal for a Noir is just to like keep using it, but I don't really have any goals of expanding the pan too much. I'm definitely not going to finish it up by the end of the year, but again, it is nice when I do want a black liner, kind of look with my eyeshadow. I've got it right here. So I would say like Mulberry and Noir, the goal is definitely just to hit pan. The rest of these, I want to hit pan on too, but I want to see how much I can finish up. I feel like hitting pan on these mattes will be more of the challenge. And then once you get pan, I think it kind of goes pretty quickly. So we'll see how it goes. But this is the progress I've made in 1 month. So I'm very pleased with that. I'm also pleased that I've used every shade more than once. I think that's going to be a goal of mine going forward, that I use each shade maybe at least 3 times every month, because like if I don't keep using Mulberry and Noir and thinking about them regularly, they just won't get any progress. So really pleased with that. I think that would be a good goal. Obviously the more the merrier, but yeah, feeling good with this one. So let me then switch over to my companion palette. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. So this is what it looks like. I already had pan on the 2 outermost shades coming into this project. So this one is Galaxia and this one is Pixie. I do think I've expanded the pan a little bit, and it could just be kind of brushing the thin layer away. But let's go through here. So I've got Galaxia down here on the end. I've had 3 uses of this one. So this is a really cool kind of gold shimmer, but it's got a green like reflector like twist to it. I think it's gorgeous. I really, really enjoy it. Sometimes, I just want a little bit more depth on my lid. And I think this is a great also like one shadow look kind of thing. So really, really pleased with that one. This one is called Industrial. It's a shimmery kind of green. I've used it once and I had the same experience as I did last time. Is I used it kind of how I was using sultry, like on the outer third. And this just like made my eyes so dark so quick. So even with the light hand, I feel like I have to be so careful with this one. So I'd like to use it again at least once, you know, in the next month before I roll this out. But this one I guess it's like a trickier shade for me. I would like to maybe try it on my lower lash line and see how I like that. I haven't really been putting anything on my lower lash line recently, so that could be pretty like on the outer third of my lower lash line. But yeah, it just like takes over my eye look so quickly. The middle here, this is 60s. I've used this twice. This is a matte kind of like olive green. It is so unique in my collection. I really, really love it. So I've used it twice, and I typically use this how I would use mulberry. So very lightly just to kind of deepen an eye look. So if I use like orange soda or incense in the crease, kind of a brown, I wanted to go a little bit more green. This is what I would reach for and just kind of lightly blend it into the outer third and into my crease. Again, this packs a punch. So I'm pleased that I used it twice. Again, I would like to use every shade in here at least one more time in the month of February before we roll into a new companion palette. The next one here is Vintage Taupe. I really love Vintage Taupe. You can see I've got a dip in there. I used it 4 times. Sometimes when I want a lighter pink shade, I will use this as my kind of base transition shade and then go in with Dusty Rose. Sometimes I go in with just Dusty Rose, but I really like Vintage Taupe. That's a shade I could see myself hitting pan on. I don't think in the next month, but like in the future, that is like a very easy shade for me to use. I think it's beautiful. It's just enough rosiness, but it's not over the top pink. So that's a good one. And then at the end, I've got Pixie. I've used Pixie 4 times. So it's a kind of pink-based eyeshadow with a little bit of gold shimmer running through it. I think it's really pretty, kind of like the Galaxia. It's just like a little bit more dynamic, a little more special than just a plain pink shimmer with the gold kind of in there. It doesn't have as much of a shift, I would say, as Galaxia, but it still has enough of like a special difference to make it fun. So yeah, I've used this one 4 times. I already had pan on it. I do think I've expanded the pan just kind of there in the center, and I'm really pleased with it. So yeah, those are the 2 palettes I've been working on. And we've got another month of this combo, and then this one will roll out and I'll roll something else in, but this will be my primary palette all year. I did want to update you on my pan percentage. So we started the year off, I have 80 eyeshadows that I could hit pan on, or like that could have pan on it in my collection. I, at the beginning of the year, had 13 pans in my eyeshadow collection. So that was 16.25% for my pan percentage. I did actually just this morning hit pan on my Project Pan eyeshadow. So this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but like, I don't think we're that surprised. This is the shade Idle Hour from ColourPop. I have it popped out into this like single from Ulta, and it may be hard to tell because it's just a little pinprick of pan. So I'm going to keep working on it for my Project Pan update, but I do have a little bit of pan in there. So I'm really, really pleased with that. And so now I have 14 pans in my eyeshadow collection. So because I have pan on this, it bumped my percentage up to 17.5%. So really, really pleased with that. I would love to see, obviously, that number grow and expand throughout the year as I hit more pans in here. And that's also why I want to kind of bring some companion palettes in to see if I can hit any pans in those, you know, throughout the year too. So that is all I have for you for my Pan That Palette update. I hope you enjoyed, you know, seeing my progress. I hope to have more exciting progress in the months to come. So subscribe if you want to, you know, carry on with me this year and see the different updates. I'd love to have you. And yeah, that's all I have. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.